what it do? It's your boy Microman YC, feel me? And today we have a interesting video by Mina TV Africa, up and coming channel. Reparations for slavery. I definitely wanted to watch this. Should African Americans receive reparations? I don't know. Let's just get into it. Before I start talking niggas to death, talking niggas to death. Let's just get into the vid right quick. Look.
Hello, Mina
They
TV
call me
fam,
Hope
it's
on the
me,
beat
Adele,
because I
still
can't be stopped.
enjoying
He
summer
gon'
in
guard up and
NYC.
he gon' get
And
dropped.
I'm asking millennials a serious question today.
Look,
do you
we from
believe
NY and we really get fly. We getting money, we just not getting by. And every time I go through the hood, you know just why I'm picking up my meds.
African Americans should receive reparations for slavery?
Oh, that's a deep question. Well, I feel that we deserve much more than that.
Whoa. What's much more than reparations? What does that mean? What is the meaning of reparation? Siri, what does reparations mean?
The making of amends for a wrong one has done, by paying money to or otherwise helping those who have been wronged.
So I don't know if we can get more than reparations, because reparations is compensation on its own. So I think just talking about what should the reparations be. I think she was just talking about in terms of money. I'll take some money, you know what I'm saying? But yeah.
I think, we deserve a lot. Whether it will actually happen or not is a question, but this country is more than indebted to our ancestors.
No cap.
Absolutely. Oh, can I curse?
Wow.
You know what? That for me, that's not like a on-the-spot answer question. That's something that I've tossed around in my head several times, and I still haven't come up with a definitive yes or no.
Talk to us. Come on, we need details, man. You can't just give us I don't know. Like, I understand people who are I don't know, because I used to hate I don't know people. It's either yes or no and argue, because I just used to like to argue. You know, so when they would say yes or no, I would just go to the other side and just try to argue with them. But if you are I don't know person, I've come to accept you, because I'm not just looking to argue. I'm looking to start conversation. So if you don't like, what's the no side? Like, why shouldn't, like, what's the reason that African Americans shouldn't get reparations? Like, I want to know that side. Why do you think we shouldn't get reparations? Like, what's this, like, on this side I think we should because da da da, but this side we shouldn't. I need you to think out loud for me right there.
How much you gonna get?
Do you believe African Americans should receive reparations for slavery?
Fuck yeah.
Do you believe African Americans should receive reparations for slavery?
Yes.
Why?
Because
She
we
should have been asking why.
deserve it. After all what we went through.
Of course, other people receive reparations for whatever they've been through. Yeah, I mean, at least let us go to school for free.
We could start the conversation right there, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if we at the debate table, right? Like, the president's on one side, and then the African American representatives is on the other side. You feel me? We gonna have a huddle. Like, how are we starting? Because African Americans have the tendency to try to go small. But if you watch the LGBTQ community, if you really watch how they maneuver, they went straight for the equal rights. I think that's what we fucked up. We went to the civil. We went for the civil, and then it was like, okay, if we, look, boom, watch. If we having a negotiation, right, and I say, I want civil rights. Said, maybe you get civil rights. Kind of civil. Like, it won't be legal to kill you, and you'll be like a full human, but like not systematically. So it's like you kind of get civil, but not really. But if you go straight for the jugular, I want equal rights. All right, how about civil? You got to understand how to play the game, right? But with the LGBTQ community, they understood the roadmaps. They understood how to, feel me? Because, you know, there's a lot of white males in that, and they understood the roads of oppression. They understood it, so they knew how to move in and out. Feel me? You got to really understand how to play the game. So if we sitting at the table, black people have a tendency at least give us free school. I don't know. versus going higher, and then the middle would be, all right, let's get free school, and then we end on that. You know what I mean? So you gotta, it's a lot of mental, you know what I'm saying? A lot of mental that goes into it.
Why? Okay.
Oh, she mad.
Oh God, now you took me there because it's like, am I gonna be live?
Oh, absolutely.
Why?
Because we built this country. What do you mean? Like, capitalism is on our backs. Of course.
Why?
Because the Jews get it all the time. Why can't we?
Of course, absolutely. Like,
That's a
Why?
fact. I don't know what the Jews actually got in reparations, but that's interesting though, cause like you look at the Jewish community now, and look how they're represented. Jews are known for making money. Jews are known for having more financially. Like, they're known for being ahead. So it's like the fact that we haven't got those reparations, and in my opinion, you know, African Americans were put through more than Jews. You know, especially because, you know, the Holocaust was a much shorter period of time. I don't know exactly how much time it was, but I know it was a shorter time than African Americans were enslaved. And I know that Jewish people are no longer systematically held back. As far as I know in America, they aren't systematically held back. And they've had reparations. So, you know what I mean? That's how I feel on that.
I don't know. I forgot what I was gonna say, but
He's cooked.
I believe that we
He's
have to
fried.
think about what that would look like. Because if we're just talking about money, money's not going to solve much.
Ooh.
It'll solve a lot, but if we don't figure out how to like be with it and be around it, it's not going to mean anything.
I like that answer. I disagree that money can't solve it, because if I had money right now, I would be using it in a lot of different ways. You know what I mean? But by no means am I poor. I mean, I'm poor. Like, me poor. Like, I'm poor as an individual, but, you know, me living with my parents and things like that, I don't live a poor lifestyle, but just my bank account is poor. So, you know, I don't fully agree with that, but I understand what he's saying in terms of a systematic thing. If that's the debate, like, all right, every African American gets, you know, $100,000. Other things still have to change. We have to stop being killed, but in terms of reparations for slavery, every African American gets $100,000. I think that I would, as a person who's uninformed and ignorant myself, I would be okay with that, you know, because the information to how to use that is out there. We have the internet nowadays. Whatever you're looking for, you can find. You know what I mean? But there's a lot of depth that goes into that. So, you know.
But
it's not a but. I'm skeptic of how to show up. You know what I mean? Just by the nature of this country, I find it far-fetched.
Wow. I mean, I think now we're in an age where, like, reparations aren't 40 acres and a mule, right? It's just kind of like, maybe it could be done in a different way. But then also, too, how is that going to be done? Like, what's the process? How do you determine, like, how much African American are you?
What percentage? Because niggas want to talk about one drop. Now, how we moving? You have black, half white. Okay, you're black. You know, you have one black grandparent. How's that looking? So, felt that?
Good.
why?
Because it's necessary. Even though no one wants to acknowledge it. I think so, but I think it would be hard to tell, like, how much money or what equates for reparations, whether it's money, whether it's land or whatever it is. I think that's a difficult question.
Of course, without a doubt.
Why?
Yes, because of what they took us through, unnecessary, that we didn't ask for this.
They in Harlem, I
Well,
think.
I mean, it was forced upon us. So now I believe that we should get retribution and contributions to other areas
And all the abusions.
African American lives, the true African Americans, not those who proclaim to be African Americans.
Absolutely. Why?
Well, because, I don't have, no,
Oh.
Teacher, come. Believe that we should go out and get what we want regardless. We shouldn't look for anyone to hand us anything, so.
yes.
I would personally take reparations as just don't give us nothing, just stop systematically oppressing us. If that was on the table, auto taking that. You know what I mean? But I'm not really a person that has really been through the oppression of a 2021. I'm not somebody who really grew up in a bad neighborhood. I'm not somebody who, you know, had to deal with a whole bunch of racism, you know, because I live in New York. You know what I mean? So there's cultural diversity. I live in a nice home. You know what I mean? So, you know, for me to say that, you know, without having all of the context and everything, you know, I guess, you know, everybody's different. But if you're asking me as an African American, not somebody who's been oppressed as an African American, but just somebody who's an African American in general, I think just the lack of oppression, I think that I'll take that. Like, the money, listen, the money is good, but the lack of oppression, if that's even possible, like, I don't really know how that would be, like, enforceable, because it's not really super enforceable. But yeah, I think I would take the lack of oppression over money. But back to what she said, we shouldn't look for anything to be handed to us, but I think we deserve it. So
why?
Because we built a country.
How much would be enough in 2019?
I don't even know. I can't even guess.
They put you on the committee to suggest
Come on.
something. What would you suggest?
Come on, big bro. Talk to us.
I have no idea. 100,000.
Do you believe
That's what I
African Americans should receive reparations for slavery?
In principle, yes. I have no idea how that would work out as a policy of the government, but in principle, yeah.
Yes.
Why?
Because we were oppressed, and I just feel like it's only right.
Yeah. Yes.
Why?
Because, oh gosh, here we go. We deserve our heritage and where we come from in general, but that can't be repaid. I think we need to stop depending on white people and people who are higher up to give us things, and to just take what we deserve and start economic wealth.
We built this country. We built it. How much is enough as reparations?
Oof. I feel like money-wise, we need to be, have reparations, but I also think it should be in the form of like programs and different things that we need to kind of like bring us up.
If there's a way for them to figure it out, that would be a wonderful thing, but how?
We're not asking how, bruh. Because once we figure out if we should, then maybe we can talk about how, right? Like, it's the same thing that says, in different books I've said, figure out what you want and then figure out how later. Don't allow what you want to be determined by how. Just answer the question.
How much is enough?
I don't know. A couple of millions.
We need reparations for this. How much is enough in 2019? Nothing's enough. So you still think we need reparations? What would be enough? What would be enough? There's never enough. Our slavery was much longer than the Holocaust.
Like, just giving people money is not going to really change anything if people don't have economic awareness, if people don't have knowledge of how to build businesses and things of that nature. So honestly, I think like if people got free education, if people got free schooling, if people got a certain amount of land allotted to do things with, agriculture, stuff like that, that's how ideally I think it should show up. I'm curious to see if it'll ever happen.
But if it's done, I think it'd be a great thing. But maybe it's not given to us. Maybe it's something that's given, like we own property. Maybe we own something. It's
Come
bigger
on,
than
let's
just
talk.
money.
Me personally, I haven't, because I wasn't there in that time. But my ancestors, the blood that they shed and the sweat that they preserved, I feel it now.
What would be enough in 2019?
What would be enough? Oh, I have no idea. I don't think any amount is enough.
I believe yes, because every other people that have been repressed against, they have also gotten this right to get reprimands, to get these things in Brazil. I mean, the concept of race in Brazil is different, but I believe that there is evidence that we deserve these things.
So why do you believe in reparations?
Because we have so many hypocrisies with, let's use the Israel example of like, if we are going to let some people return to their land, we have to let everyone do that.
White people in this country have received help at every generation, and that has really set African Americans behind. So, yeah.
I don't know. They need to give us something. But what would you want?
Think about it. For real.
A house. What would they give us? What could they give us in the form of reparations?
Property, I feel like is good.
That could be enough. What can they give us? Well, we never did get 40 acres and a mule. So, what can you give us?
I'll take that.
Give us something that we can have ownership for, that
I'll
we
take
can
some land.
actually be able to build on our different companies that we have.
And so it seems the people on the streets took this serious question like champs, and they answered me. I had fun asking. I had fun talking to people. I remain your very own Adira. Till next time, don't forget to subscribe and like Mina TV. Bye.
How much is enough? Taking us away from our culture and heritage, taking us away from all the, we were actually kings and queens, in Africa. Africa, one of the richest countries in the world. Generations and generations of trauma, continuous oppression. How much is all of that worth? Can't really put a number on that. You can't put a number that will suffice that, because money, there's no amount of money you can give for life. How much is a life worth? You can't ask God, like, listen, I got $250 billion, let me get a life. Like, you can't, like, that's not how things work. So how much is enough? I like free education is a really good one. I like that. Free education for all African Americans. I think that's really good. You can learn anything you want to learn and get that information that you need. I think property is pretty good. I think money's all right. Every black person gets $100,000 and then that's reparations. Like, I think that's okay. It feels like such a slap in the face to be like, all right, here's $100,000. You good, right? Okay. You know what I mean? When people have massed generational wealth of African American labor, it feels like a slap in the face, really, to even feel like that's some type of justification, or like we're even. You know what I mean? It feels like a slap in the face, honestly. But it's definitely better than nothing. Is it going to solve the problems? No. But I believe that somebody in our community with power, with knowledge, will teach our people how to use that money, and the people that actually want to learn, we can get the help necessary. So, should we receive reparations for slavery? Yes. How much? There's a way to, scale, like, systematic racism, and just, if there was a way to eliminate it, I would say for sure eliminate it. And then free education for black people for the next 300 years, maybe 200 years. I think that would be cool. Yeah, and I would take that. I mean, if we want to throw some money on it, you feel me? Just like, oh yeah, and then everybody gets $50K, like, oh sure. But I think free education and no systematic. If there was a way to get rid of systematic racism, get rid of it. What is it? 20 minutes? Why do I talk so much, bro? Like, I can't get y'all in and out in 10 minutes, but I don't know. Anyway, that was definitely a good vid. It was definitely thought-provoking. Let me give the video a like, because sometimes I forget and I'll go back and give it a like. You know what I'm saying? But that was very thought-provoking. So if you have an opinion, and you want to talk to somebody else about it, send them this video or send them their video if you're tired of me talking, because I know sometimes I be talking a little bit too much, but I'm going to get better. But if you like me talking, send them this video, give this video a like, share it, have conversations, go depth, go crazy, and let me know how you feel about, you can comment, let me know how you feel about what I said and what some other people in the video said. And that's it. I'm going to let you guys go with 22 minutes. But, we'll see what it looks like after editing. Peace.